it's a little bit different out here when you get Caitlin Clark treatment. It ain't so easy peasy getting to play one-on-one, getting to just do your thing how you want to do it, when you want to do it.
This is unbelievable. The mask has slipped, the act is over, and the so-called prophecy has crumbled. The WNBA's attempt to force a next Caitlin Clark just crashed and burned on national television. Paige Bueckers, the media's chosen golden child, the one pushed as Clark's successor and the supposed savior of women's basketball, just got a harsh reality check handed to her by the Seattle Storm. And let's be clear, this wasn't a minor setback. It was a full-on exposure, proof that hype doesn't survive when it meets the unforgiving reality of WNBA defense. Tell us in the comments, are you still buying into the Paige Bueckers hype? Let's get into it.
This was the first time we saw Paige really get guarded. This is where we saw what is going to happen in year 2. This is the scout report that needs to be out there on Paige Bueckers once the Dallas Wings get good, because Dallas Wings are going to get good at some stage in her career. This was the game where I'm like, okay, we can shut up.
For months, fans have been fed a narrative straight out of a PR script. Paige Bueckers was cast as the chosen one, the inevitable heir, who would not only follow Caitlin Clark, but somehow eclipse her. The media ran with it non-stop, selling the story that Paige was reshaping the game at a pace Clark never could. Article after article built her up as the perfect package, polished, cerebral, efficient, untouchable.
The elevation of one Paige Bueckers. Oh, she's better than Caitlin Clark. I mean, stab me in the eye with a spoon, for Christ's sakes. Wow. So that's a thing right now. Last night, Paige Bueckers dropped 44 points. And we're going to look at a video that just dissects and exposes a lot of that shit. Let me tell you. It exposes a lot of stuff involving Paige Bueckers getting special treatment on the court.
Remember when Paige's former coach Ginu Auriemma made that comment about Caitlin Clark? That moment set the tone for how people viewed her, or more accurately, how she was underestimated and disrespected right from the beginning.
And Diana said it best. This kid's in for a rude awakening. And they all jumped over her, but they didn't read the whole thing that she said. But nobody's printing. You know, Diana Taurasi was right. This kid's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league. And she's a rookie. And if you're a WNBA player, if you're any kind of player, you're going to say, I'm going to make a statement.
Paige grabbed the headline stat of being the fastest to 200 points and 50 assists, barely edging out Clark's pace by just one game. That tiny detail had analysts losing their minds, raving about how polished she looked, how much more prepared she supposedly was compared to Caitlin. The hype train was running full throttle, with ESPN handing out first-class tickets. But here's the truth about hype. It only lasts until reality comes crashing in. And this time, reality showed up wearing Seattle Storm green.
Loved-up Divas Kat Engelbert is breathing a sigh of relief. Her pretend friends in the mainstream media, they are trying to crown a new star. If the media has it their way, this could potentially be the new face of pretend basketball. And it's not just the woke media. There are even some in conservative media who are voluntarily biting into the shit sandwich. Headline at Outkick. No, Caitlin, no problem. Paige Bueckers can save the WNBA season.
Fresh off her overhyped crowning moment, that 44-point explosion against the Sparks, Paige walked into Seattle as if the celebration was still going. But the Storm weren't there to wave banners or roll out a red carpet. They brought pressure, traps, and relentless physicality. What unfolded wasn't a coronation, it was a demolition.
She went off in a game against the Los Angeles Sparks, scoring 44 points, but the craziest part about that was her shooting percentage. She shot over 80% from the field, and I tweeted about that, and I was like, that's actually insane. Give props where they are due. Shooting over 80%, scoring 44 points is actually insane. But with this game, like Paige Bueckers she put on a masterclass in scoring, and I think with that, these are some big numbers.
Paige wrapped up the night with just 11 points. Not in the first quarter, not in the first half, but 11 total. She shot a brutal 2 for 11 from the field, with 0 assists and only 2 rebounds to her name. That stat line didn't scream future superstar. It looked more like pity numbers for someone completely out of rhythm. And here's the kicker. Seattle coach Noel Quinn practically called it before the game, saying it was time to see if this princess could handle the Caitlin Clark treatment. Spoiler alert, she couldn't. She cracked under the pressure.
For the game, you said it's going to be important to be physical with like Paige Bueckers. Can you talk about the defensive game plan for Dallas and like how your team was able to hold them to their fewest points of the season?
Yeah, it started, with our attention to detail with Paige. I thought, Slim was very physical, stayed in her space, and the actions that we guarded her in, we were very aggressive, showed multiple bodies, and kind of, made her hesitant to use the ball screen a little bit. I thought we rotated well.
And here's where it gets really interesting. While Paige crumbled after just one night of real defensive pressure, Caitlin Clark has been living in that storm every single game for over a year. She's not just the player who shook up the league, she's the one who redefined it. And what's been her reward? A level of physical punishment that would make NFL linebackers nod in approval. The numbers don't lie. 17% of all flagrant fouls in the 2024 WNBA season were committed against Caitlin Clark alone. That's not basketball, that's targeting.